Could you introduce yourself for our listeners?
Hi, my name is John Bohannon, and I'm a contributing correspondent for Science magazine. And I'm teaching a multimedia workshop here at Media International.
How you have been chosen to coaching Arab journalists?
I actually offered myself for a workshop, and they agreed. So this is how it happened.
Mhm. And how you introduce yourself to coach Arab journalists?
Well, I have a lot of experience reporting in the Middle East, in North Africa and the Middle East, and I wanted to come here anyway. And I also have multimedia experience. I've made video and podcasts and audio slideshows and built websites and blogs. And so I said, hey, I could teach some of these skills to journalists here in Cairo and at the same time visit this beautiful city. And they said, okay.
Did you find any difficulties in coaching Arab journalists?
I must say I was a little bit worried that the level of English would not be good, but it's been perfectly fine. Absolutely no problems at all. In fact, we've been using PC computers, and my experience is with Mac computers. And sometimes we run into a problem with the computer, and it's the students who save the day and fix the problem. So I've been very happy with the level of students.
In your opinion, what are other skills that Arab journalists lacking?
I think Arab journalists don't lack any storytelling skills. They know how to be good journalists. I've read stories by Arab journalists, and they're very good. So that's the most important thing. I think if they lack anything, it's only experience with multimedia. In general, for example, in Cairo, the internet connections are a little bit slower than they are in Europe and America. And
How slow?
well, it depends on the connection. Here in Media International, the connections are rather good. But I have been using a connection at my apartment in Cairo, and it's so slow that many kinds of multimedia you just don't want to use because
DSL?
I think it's DSL, yeah. And so I think the main thing is just they have less experience with multimedia. So I think they just need to practice because, and I think one reason for that is that the internet connection is so slow that it's frustrating. And so they don't waste their time. I wouldn't either. But I think internet is getting faster, and also there's more and more interest, especially among young people in the Middle East, young readers. And so the movement is towards more multimedia.
You are a scientific journalist. While you're here in Egypt, do you think about doing others interviews?
Yes, Egypt has many interesting science stories. I'm just beginning to find them. But I would like to do a story about the Nile River, for example, about the delta, the ecology, the management of the water. It's a big problem in Egypt, the future of the Nile. So many millions of people rely on it for life. And it's very fragile. And if it's not managed properly, there could be huge problems in the years to come. That's one story. Another story that I would like to do is about disease.
You're a PhD about bacteria?
That's right. My PhD was in the molecular biology of bacteria. And that helps me a little bit when I do stories that involve biology. But, it doesn't help that much. I still have to, like any journalist, I need to learn new things for every story.
May I ask you why you choose journalism to work in?
Well, I always wanted to be a writer ever since I was very young. And I studied science only because I enjoyed studying science. But when I finished my PhD, there was no more studying to do. So I finally became a writer. It took me a long time.
You're just 33.
35.
Still have time.
Well, I better get started though.
You don't write fiction.
No, I do a little bit of fiction work for television and film. I've written a few things with friends, but mostly nonfiction.
I wish you good luck.